A Powell County pastor facing sexual abuse charges learned today that the grand jury will hear his case.
Some new changes for the Yum Center in the new year, how arena officials are bumping up security, and how that will affect fans.
Growth from within. And this is bringing jobs back home.
A Lexington company is expanding and bringing new jobs with it. Coming up, why the mayor says it's a big deal.
This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening. Other pastors say they're surprised by the charges, but today a judge sent a sex abuse case involving a Powell County pastor to the grand jury.
Today, investigators laid out their evidence against Steve Williams during a preliminary hearing. While cameras were not allowed in court, WKYT was there as Williams listened to the evidence. Hillary Thornton has the latest on the case in our top story at 5:30.
Powell County Sheriff's Deputy Robert Matthews testified at today's hearing, explaining how the 11-year-old alleged victim told investigators her pastor, Steve Williams, was driving her and her sisters to West Virginia for a whitewater rafting trip back in August. Deputy Matthews says the young girl claims while her sisters were asleep in the back seat, Williams assumed she also was asleep in the front seat, which is when she says he put his hand underneath her blanket and down her pants. She told investigators Williams then said he was looking for his cell phone. Shortly after learning about these allegations, Deputy Matthews says the 11-year-old, 16-year-old sister admitted to her parents she also had been inappropriately touched. She told investigators it all started about a year and a half ago, then happening as recently as early December while she was doing some work at Williams' church. After Matthews' testimony, the judge did send the case to the grand jury. After the judge sent this case to the grand jury, Williams' attorney asked that his client's bond be reduced.
Two pastors that knew him well to testify in the bond hearing, and to his credit, they testified he's a good individual.
In addition to those two pastors, Deputy Matthews, the deputy investigating the case, also spoke in favor of the request, saying he did not think Williams was a flight risk. The request, however, was ultimately denied by the judge.
I respect Judge Proffitt's decision today. However, I don't agree with it.
In Wolfe County, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Williams' attorney asked his bond be reduced to $50,000. It remains at $300,000, a decision his attorney says they might appeal to the circuit judge.
New tonight, we have learned that a Lexington man has been arrested for raping a family member. 44-year-old Michael Turley was arrested late last night at the Walmart on Nicholasville Road where he worked. According to an arrest warrant, the victim told police she had been raped several times by Turley over a course of 3 years. The victim reported the crime in April of last year, and at that time, several items were sent to the State Police Crime Lab last year for DNA testing. Earlier this month, Lexington police got the lab reports back, and the DNA was linked to Turley. Turley has been charged with first-degree rape.
Police in central Kentucky are looking for a man accused of stealing televisions and then pawning them. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Clark County. Winchester police posted these photos to their Facebook page earlier today. They tell us they believe this man stole several televisions from Walmart stores across the area, including Clark County. Police say he then pawned them at stores in central and eastern Kentucky. Winchester police believe the man's name is Douglas Miller. In Madison County, police are looking for a man wanted for shoplifting. Check out this photo. Berea police believe this man took several items from Walmart yesterday afternoon. They say the suspect then left Walmart in a white pickup truck with UK stickers on the back window. Police did not say what the man took. And in Martin County, the search continues for a man who's been missing for nearly 3 weeks now. William Scotty Fannin has been missing since December 10th. His family last saw him in the Milo community. Search crews have been searching Milo Lake for more than 2 weeks. Today, crews spent much of the day draining it. So far, crews have not found anything, but the sheriff says cadaver dogs led them to believe that there is a body in the lake.
We are learning some new information tonight about a chaotic weekend at a mall near Louisville. The Courier-Journal now reports that only 50 to 100, not the reported 1,000 to 2,000 young people, were involved in fights at the mall St. Matthews. St. Matthews police say the original claim was a guess, and there was likely an overlap from officers who had witnessed different groups of teenagers. The mayor of St. Matthews thinks a combination of boredom and social media may have led to the disturbances. The mayor, police chief, and mall management met yesterday.
Our goal is to figure out a plan that can address this issue in a positive light, make sure that business doesn't have a long-term impact, that it is something that is short-term and that we can recover very quickly from.
And tomorrow, city officials plan to announce possible changes and additional resources to improve security measures at that mall.
The new year is bringing some new security changes to the KFC Yum Center in Louisville. The University of Louisville boosted security earlier this month by using handheld wands to screen fans entering the arena for basketball games. Now the arena itself is going a step further by installing metal detectors at each of the Yum's 28 entrances. The metal detectors will cost $200,000. The Yum Center is also adding security guards and restricting the size of purses. Big, bulky bags are no longer allowed. The changes will start with the U of L home basketball game on January 14th, but it's not just basketball games that are affected. The first concert for the new security will be Madonna on January 16th.
Most of the rain has moved out, but today we saw the cooler temperatures move in.
And it looks like we will finally start to feel like winter out there. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has a first look at your quiet forecast.
Yeah, quiet for a change. Exactly what the weather doctor ordered for central and eastern Kentucky. Boy, we need it after the soaking rains of the past several days. Still a lot of clouds in Lexington, southeastern Kentucky. Congrats to you. You had some sunshine. You even hit 60s again today. 46 right now, Lexington. Feels like it is a little cooler than that, courtesy of a westerly wind that continues to gust up a little bit. Humidity levels are up, and as a little disturbance passes through here late tonight and certainly into the day tomorrow, it may be able to squeeze out another shower or two. Look at that temperature swing. Still early this evening, low 60s into far southeastern Kentucky near the Kentucky-Virginia border counties. Yet it's 41 into Fort Knox, 41 showing up into the Covington-Cincinnati area as well. Defender Radar Network, nothing going on. Broaden out the view, clouds streaming in from the southwest, and that's enough juice that may touch off a light shower as we go into your Wednesday. When I get back in a few minutes, we will track that with the hour-by-hour forecast that also takes you into the first several hours of 2016.
Officials in Louisville are keeping an eye on the Ohio River tonight. The Army Corps of Engineers says the river is in minor flood mode. They say the flooding is not just because of rain, but because catch basins are covered in debris.
A Lexington company is bringing dozens of new jobs to town. We told you here last night at 11 about Clark Material Handling's plans to expand.
And today we are learning more about that plan. The company says they are shifting production of 2 forklift truck models from Mexico to Lexington. New at 5:30, Garrett Weimer tells us why the mayor is calling this expansion a big deal.
Clark Material Handling is owned by a company in South Korea, but their North American headquarters is right here in Lexington. And now the facility here is growing and bringing with it to the area 30 new jobs. The governor and Lexington Mayor Jim Gray announced today the company is expected to invest nearly $4.8 million as part of its expansion. Clark plans to shift production of 2 forklift truck models from Mexico to its headquarters here. Lexington Mayor Jim Gray says it's exciting news for the city.
These are great jobs with an employer that's been in Lexington for a very long time. So what's really great about this is organic growth from within. And this is bringing jobs back home. This is bringing jobs back home from Mexico to the United States and really confirms the reemergence of American manufacturing. It's a very, very big deal.
Clark has bought 4 acres of land and a building on property next to where their facility is here, so they're also physically expanding. In fact, they say their location here will be more than 162,000 square feet. In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Clark says it anticipates that the expansion will increase its production in Lexington by 200% and that it will also begin several other expansions in North America, Brazil, and Europe.
Kentucky drivers, like most across this country, are enjoying some of the lowest gas prices in 6 years. Ted of Lexington has our good question tonight. He says, why does Lexington gas keep going up when oil prices keep dropping? There's an oversupply and no refinery shutdowns. Ted, you're partially right. Supply is outpacing demand, and that is driving down gas prices, including right here in Lexington. Today, the average price of unleaded gas in the state is $1.87. 2 years ago, it was $2.10. Now, checking prices around the state for today, Lexington gas today ranging from $1.89 to $1.99. That's pretty much in line with Hazard, $1.84 to $1.99. Louisville, $1.83 to $1.99. Somerset lower than most at $1.78 to $1.99. So Lexington gas not going up or that much higher, really. These are the lowest gas prices during the Christmas holidays since 2009. Also, for you travelers, the states with the lowest average gas price right now, Missouri, $1.70, and Kansas at $1.75. To submit a good question, just simply log on to WKYT.com. A Kentucky lawmaker explaining his decision to switch parties.
And Senator Mitch McConnell has some advice for the presidential candidates. Bill Bryant has the details in the bottom line.
Good evening. The Kentucky legislature begins its 60-day session a week from today amid new math and a new reality of a near tie for control of the state house. After Representative Jim Gooch's flip from Democrat to Republican yesterday, the count is 50 Democrats and 48 Republicans. Gooch said in a statement that he informed Democratic House Speaker Greg Stumbo and Republican floor leader Jeff Hoover at the same time by email. Gooch said he reached his decision based on some of President Obama's policies that he says he could not defend. The session that begins next Tuesday will be the first under the new Republican governor, Matt Bevin. Kentucky could get some attention ahead of its March 5th Republican presidential caucuses. That's because our neighbors to the south in Tennessee will hold a primary 4 days earlier on March 1st. Tennessee is part of what some are calling the SEC primary because it also includes Texas and Georgia and some other southern states. As candidates make their visits to nearby Tennessee, some could schedule some quick trips into Kentucky to grab headlines ahead of the caucus. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is hoping to hold on to his powerful position after the 2016 elections, even though his Republican Party has more seats to defend. Politico reports that McConnell has counseled candidates to focus on their own elections while realizing that the presidential race could have some impact on the outcomes. The polls will close in just a few minutes at 6 o'clock in Barberville. Voters are deciding today whether to legalize alcohol sales. Voters decided to stay dry in a similar vote in Knox County a few years ago there in the Knox County seat. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
Lexington businesswoman Kathy Ploman is running for city council. She announced her candidacy today on her Facebook page. Ploman is the former head of the United Way of the Bluegrass and a former employee here at WKYT. She's running for the 12th district seat currently held by Russ Hensley. Hensley was appointed to council in August following the death of council member Ed Lane. The May primary is May 17th. Bluegrass Airport is hoping to become an MVP in the world of trading cards.
The airport just launched a new collectible trading card for people traveling through. It's one of 60 different cards featuring airports across North America. These cards are designed to educate the public about the roles that airports play in the community.
A lot of the airports throughout the country have a great history, whether it's the dignitaries that are flying through them, the special customers, like for us, horses, that you might not consider. There's lots to learn, and so these cards are a great way for kids to do that and have some fun while traveling too.
So be on the lookout for those. The Bluegrass Airport cards are free, and they're available at the front desk.